The movie begins in the vibrant red catacombs underneath the Paris Opera House, where a man with a lantern hides from a dark shadow which lurks around. The film cuts to the opera house itself. Were people in the silent film era just really slow readers? It should now take 13 seconds to read this. The strange deal they're referring to is transferring the ownership of the opera house. Spooky. The two original owners, at least I think that's who they are, warn the new owners, Armand and Fermin, that, quote, "It is barely possible you may hear of a ghost, a phantom of the opera."
Roll credits.
Also, this wording makes no sense. It is barely possible you may, but Armand and Fermin laugh at the warning. However, after the former owners say that the attendant of Box 5 will not laugh when you ask about the opera ghost, the new owners decide to investigate. So they ask an elderly woman who occupies Box 5. The woman doesn't know, saying that, "I have seen only the cloaked figure of a man who hides his face and will not speak." I think it would have been scarier if he did speak, considering this is a silent movie. When Armand and Fermin enter Box 5, they are shocked to discover that someone is there. A man in a silly cape! The horrors! A little later, Joseph Bouquet, the chief scene shifter, sees a horrible sight. A cat walking down the stairs. But what other horrors are to be witnessed? A door opening, a shadow on the wall, and the door closing again. This somehow terrifies the girls, and they begin discussing the Phantom's nose. Okay. But just then, a random man appears and the chorus girls wonder, could this be the Phantom? They decide to ask Joseph Bouquet what the Phantom looks like, as he allegedly saw him once. She walked the wrong way. That calls for a dramatic note, right? So he takes the girls where he first saw the Phantom, in the green room. But Carlotta, the lead actress of the opera house, is not happy, as she received a letter from the Phantom commanding that Christine Daae will play the role of Marguerite, the leading lady, instead of her, or a disaster will befall Carlotta's career. Carlotta refuses to be intimidated by a ghost. However, on the night of the performance, Carlotta becomes ill, and lo and behold, Christine gets the part. Now you may think it's a little far-fetched for the Phantom to be able to make Carlotta ill, but it makes a lot more sense than what he does in the show. Anywho, Raoul, Christine's love interest, is told of a rumor that Christine, quote, favors some mysterious admirer over him. That doesn't stop him from entering her dressing room and proposing, but Christine turns him down, saying, "I can never leave the opera, Raoul. You must forget our love." Raoul, who seems to handle this surprisingly well, leaves, and a melodious voice, like the voice of an angel, speaks to her. I guess we'll just have to take the movie's word that it's a melodious voice and just hope it's not Gerard Butler's.
This is the point of no return. Down that path into darkness deep as hell.
The omniscient fancy text tells us that Carlotta receives another letter, and it's edged in black! Oh my gosh, I don't know what that means. I'm going to have to look that up so I can be properly terrified of it. Apparently, a letter edged in black means that it is a letter informing the recipient that someone has died. Well, okay, I guess that would be scary. But if it's supposed to be scary, then why does her mother look so happy? If the characters aren't even scared of this development, then why should I be? The letter that was just given to the manager says that the leading lady must again be played by Christine, or the opera house will be cursed. But Carlotta goes on stage to play the part anyway. As the performance goes on, Christine gets a letter from Raoul, but without even reading it, has a note sent to Raoul saying that she can't explain why, but he must never try to see her again. But things begin to try to get scary as the lights flicker on and off. Nosferatu. Don't look at me like that, it's always been a dumb joke. And then we get one of the most iconic visuals of the Phantom of the Opera story. The Phantom brings down the chandelier. Okay, I'm just going to say it. That is an awful effect. And I know you're probably thinking, come on, it was 1925, of course the effects are going to suck. Well, allow me to show you a clip from a 1923 film called The Ten Commandments. That is 100 times better than this. Naturally, the entire audience flees, but Raoul goes to check on Christine in her dressing room, where he overhears her talking to the Phantom. Christine enters through a door in her mirror, where the Phantom is waiting. He confesses his love for her, which obviously causes Christine to try to flee. You know, like a sensible person would. Christine realizes that the Phantom is the Phantom, but it is revealed that his name is actually Eric. Christine faints as the Phantom lays her in his bed, and don't worry, it's the 20s, nothing happens. The papers report Christine's disappearance, and then Christine wakes up to find that a wedding dress, veil, and shoes have been placed in the room with her. She also finds a note saying that she will come to no harm as long as she doesn't touch the Phantom's mask. So of course, that's exactly what she does, and she takes it off. Now before I show you the clip of Christine removing the Phantom's mask, let me tell you a little about it. It probably won't look like anything too spectacular when you see it, but when it came out, it was a horrifying spectacle. There were people fainting and screaming and apparently literally wetting their seats. Christine begs him to let her go and promises to be his slave forever, and the Phantom agrees in order to prove his love for her. But he warns her never to see Raoul again or they both will die. But Christine nevertheless sends Raoul a note saying she must see him again at the Bal Masque de l'Opera the next night. They do, but at a price. For into the festivities enters the Phantom, dressed as the Mask of the Red Death from Edgar Allan Poe's short story. Raoul and Christine flee to the roof of the opera house, which is a terrible idea because they're basically cornered there with nowhere to go, so why would they do that? But anyway, they try to talk in private, but... Okay, before his face was kind of creepy. Here he just looks derpy. Raoul promises to take Christine away to England after her performance the next night. Because I guess her the show must go on attitude trumps her not wanting to die attitude. The Phantom is distraught over Christine's betrayal. Oh no, it's not like I can just make Raoul sick so we can't take her away to England. Oh wait, yes I can. Why didn't I do that? The couple makes it off the roof and it is revealed that Eric is a master of the black art. Just one of them, I guess. And was exiled to Devil's Island for being criminally insane. On top of that, Christine realizes that the Phantom knows of their plans. The lights go out and Christine has disappeared, leaving only her wig behind. But the creepy guy from earlier offers to take Raoul to Christine and introduces himself as a member of the secret police. He says that he has been studying the Phantom for months, and somehow his studies have informed him of the secret door in Christine's mirror. Which would imply that he's been in her dressing room. So that's creepy. And so the two sneak around the catacombs in search of the Phantom and Christine, but suddenly they come across an obstacle. Oh no, not the room of many mirrors! Wait, how is that torture? The Phantom is quickly alerted to the presence of an intruder by... this thing. Oh wow, I wonder what kind of black art weapon that could be. Is it a wand of some sort, or a voodoo instrument of some kind, or... just a snorkel? Wow, the Jaws theme is so overused that they were even using it 50 years before Jaws came out. While Christine tries to find a way out, a mob is forming to try and find a way in. Christine manages to get the keys to the door, only for the Phantom to take them away from her. But when Raoul struggles to get to Christine after somehow knowing the Phantom was abusing her without actually being able to see it, the Phantom realizes that there are more intruders to eliminate, so he turns up the heat. Literally. Please only refer to yourself as the Phantom. Eric is just not a threatening name. It'd be like in Batman having Penguin constantly call himself Oswald Cobblepot. It just doesn't strike fear into the hearts of your enemies. Granted, neither does Penguin, but whatever. Moving on. The Phantom asks Christine what she will give him in return for the lives of Raoul and that other guy. But before she offers herself to him, Raoul conveniently finds a trapdoor in the room and the two escape. The Phantom still tries to bargain with Christine, though, and in a very odd way. He says that if she turns the figurine of a scorpion, she will give herself to him and Raoul will be saved. But if she turns the grasshopper, the opera house will explode. So she turns the scorpion, which drains the lake, into the room where Raoul and the secret policeman are. Whoops. But it's okay, because there just happens to be a trapdoor directly above them, which the Phantom opens, leading them into the room with him and Christine. The Phantom realizes that the mob is coming, so he steals Christine away, and Raoul leads the mob after them. But in the midst of the chase, the carriage topples over, and as the mob chases them, the Phantom must choose between saving Christine and saving himself. Ah, love. The chase continues, and the end is near. So, how does it all end? Okay, so when I first saw this ending, I was stunned. I knew since this was a classic Universal monster movie with a mob at the end that the Phantom was going to die. I even knew the means of his death because it was spoiled for me during my research phase for this video. But I was expecting a little more resolution than that. But nope, it's just, the Phantom's dead, go home. So, yeah. Phantom of the Opera. What are my thoughts? Well, the scale of this movie is astounding, but it's not very scary, at least not today, although I can see how it would be scary then. I liked it overall, though.